Good morning from Big Sky Country. I'm Stacy, owner of Montana Used Bricks, and today I'm doing another This and That video, responding to some of the comments that were left on my comments page of these videos. There was a couple of good questions in there and a couple of good suggestions, and I just wanted to pass those on to you. So we're going to get right into it. The first one is, couldn't you charge the store for the time you spend sorting and packing and pay less in taxes? You pay when your family sorts for you. Why not take your time as an expense also? And this is actually a good question, and I would be curious if people pay themselves. I don't, because we end up using a lot of our, I want to say, extra money for personal stuff over the years. It's helped pay for vacations. It's helped pay for personal Lego sets. We're trying to move to all digital on our videos so we can get rid of all our DVDs. So we've spent quite a bit of money doing that. So over the years, we've used a lot of the money for personal stuff. I don't pay myself because I consider that my payment. And I don't know for taxes how that would even work. I do put down that I pay my relatives to come and help sort, but even that isn't a wage. It's more of a cleaning expense. Having them clean is done at irregular times. It's not a regular schedule, and it's not really an employee as such. They're just helping out. So I'm not exactly sure how that's categorized on my taxes because we have a tax accountant who takes care of that. But she did say to just mark it as cleaning. So under taxes, I put cleaning and sorting. I'm not sure how that's different, but that's the way it's set up. But like I said, I would be curious how other people handle this, especially when you have a big store and you are making quite a bit of money. Do you basically pay yourself, or is there a way that you compensate and get some benefit from it? Like I said, we just use our business money to help pay for personal stuff. That's clearly marked on our expense sheet, so our tax accountant knows that it's personal versus for the store. And she often questions me on it, especially when we buy Lego sets. She goes, "Are you sure that wasn't for the business?" It's like, no, it wasn't for the business. So it really depends on how you do your own taxes and that sort of thing. But if you have a different way that you pay yourself for all the work that you do in your store, I would be interested to hear how you do that. So put that in the comments below. But that is a very good question, and it's, I wonder how that would work if I was to pay myself. The next one is a little bit long, but I'm going to go ahead and read it. Another great video. I will say the post from the Facebook group I think is nearly spot on. However, I really do not think that taking pictures of every order with a bought shipping label will help at all. There is no guarantee that once the pic is taken that the item's photograph made it into the package. And I'm not even saying that an intentional error. While picking up various parts to put in the box, mailer, etc., something could accidentally get mixed. And as such, the whole process of taking a picture is a waste of time and energy. Plus, for a large order, what should you do? Spread out all 700 pieces so that you take a picture and have them all in the shot with the label? And this was based on a video I did a while back where somebody had given some advice on how to handle orders coming in your store. And I've heard this before where people say they take pictures of every order, they take videos of every order. And I have to agree with this person because I've always thought, well, that's dumb because you could take the parts out before you even ship it and say, oh, I don't know, it was there, look at the picture. And like he said, accidentally, that could happen. I don't even want to say how many times I've had to open packages to put in small parts that were missed as we were bagging things up, or mailing them out and looking on the table and going, what was that part for? Those kind of things happen even unintentionally, but if you have an unscrupulous seller, that's really not going to help, I guess. I don't think taking a picture really benefits anybody. But I would be curious if you do take pictures or videos of your orders before you ship them, could you put a comment below on exactly why you do that and how that helps you? Because maybe I'm missing something in this thought process. I'm on the same wavelength as the commenter because I'm like, I don't think that really makes a difference. But that could just be me, and I could just be missing the point of doing that. So if somebody could explain that a little better in the comments, I'd really appreciate it. I'm asking you guys to do a lot this week because a lot of these are like, and I just want some explanation to them. The next one, so what makes you add by amount already in store versus the pieces that sell the most? And this is in reference probably to my sorting video where I explain that I sort based on the parts I have in categories. Usually the most parts I have are usually bricks, plates, slopes, plate modified, and plate round. And those will be the first ones that I sort out when I go to do a sort. Because I have a lot of those in stock, that means that's most likely what I have a most of in my stash that I'm going to be putting into inventory. As for what sells most, that varies so much in my store. I don't know about everybody else, but in my store, I could have a month where I sell practically out of all my bricks, and then the next month I don't sell any. Probably because I sold them all. But you kind of see my point is you never know, because I've had people come in and they've bought tons of Technic parts during the month, and the next couple of months I'll barely sell any, or I'll have somebody come through and buy a whole bunch of one color in a variety of parts. What I sell most varies so much, it would be really hard for me to sort by what I think would sell. I do occasionally will pull out stuff that I know sells somewhat quickly, like the old horses, the magnets, just older parts for either Star Wars or Castle or the old space sets. If there's a part in there that I'm like, oh yeah, this will sell pretty quick, then I might add that sooner. I won't wait until that category comes up in my sort, just so I can get those in my store and hopefully bring people in. But yeah, for me, I sort by category. I showed this in my sorting video that I sort the categories by what I have the most of, and I pull 5 or 6 categories at a time, sort those, get those in inventory, and then pull 5 or 6 categories the next time. And this is how I sort. And I've done it this way since day one, and I don't think I would ever change. I've been asked, why don't you sort by color? Because you still end up having to sort by category. And for me, it's just easier to sort by category. Once you have it, sort by part, and then sort by color of that part. And for me, that's the easiest way to get everything into inventory. But everybody is different, and you have to find the way that works best for you. If you're best at doing color, stick with color. If you're good at category, pick category. If you're doing it by size, do it by size. Whatever is the easiest and the quickest way for you, because everybody's going to be looking at it a little bit differently. For me, I've trained myself to look for specific parts when I'm sorting so I can do it fairly quickly. Find your way and stick with it. That's another thing. I would be curious how you sort your parts. Do you sort them by color, by category, by size? Do you have some different variations of that on how you sort? I'm talking used parts, because new parts, that's a whole different thing because you're working from a list and you know what is in that set. But when you're working through 30 pounds of used parts, how do you sort them? That would be the question. Okay, this next one is in reference to how I pull my empty drawers. And I've seen a lot of the bigger stores where if a drawer is empty, they just pull it and throw it in a bucket or a bin that they have. And so if they ever need a drawer, they just go over to that bin and pull that drawer out and put it back. I don't have the space to do that. I'm very limited on space. I have a 20 by 20 shop. It's not going to get any bigger, and this is pretty much it. So I leave the drawers in the spot, but then I have like a piece of paper that I write down when the drawer is empty. And so if I need a drawer, I'll go over, look at the list, and go pull that drawer. This is a suggestion that was given that I really like, and I might start doing this. Add a piece of folded red construction paper so it sets against the front of each drawer. No list needed as it's all visual and you just drop the card in. Less time writing and crossing off a list. If you need empty drawers, you can visually scan each aisle and pull what you need. And that's such a simple thing. It's like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that to begin with? So I may start to do this just because it will kind of help with my list. I'm really bad about using a drawer off the list, but then not crossing it off the list. And then I go later to pull that drawer and it's like, oh, there's already parts in it. But I do have to say, I have found the one good thing about my list, and I just did this, I think yesterday, is I often forget to hit the save button when I update the remarks in Bricklink. And when I go to look for that part, it's not where I thought it was. And if I know that I recently moved it, I can look down my list of crossed off drawers and I can go and find it. And I did do that yesterday. So there is a benefit for those of us who forget that save button when we need to update things in Bricklink. That list will also save you. Not always, because sometimes it's been such a long time, it's like I have no idea where that part is. So again, that's a whole different video about how I need to do an audit. Okay, so this next one, I'm a little confused by what they're asking, but I'll answer it the way I think it should be answered. So here's the question. My question is to you, how and where do you put parts when you have no bin numbers for them at all? Let's say you have 1 to 200 parts to go into inventory, but no bin or spot for them. What is your solution? I'm trying to do just that. For me, like I said, I have a list. I know what's empty and what's not, so I can go and put parts away. If I have a whole bunch of parts, and I've had to do this a couple of times in the last couple of months, is that I've gotten so many parts of one item that I've had to rearrange things. So I have to go and find a space that I know they'll fit in that doesn't have very many parts in it. Take the few parts, put those in a different spot, and then put all these other parts in there. And I am getting to the point now where you have some parts that you have so many of because they're very common parts. They don't sell very well. And I have started to fill up a bunch of gallon bags with these parts and put them in bigger stackable containers because they don't sell much, but at the same time, I'm not really ready to part with them. I want to leave them in my store in case somebody does need them. So it's been a lot of moving certain parts from one bin to another as I keep gaining more and more of them. I've done this a lot in the last couple of months. I had a whole bunch of older windows frames that I had to do something with, and I had to move things around so that I could find a spot for those. And I'm trying to think, there was something just the other day where I had to move things around so that I could find a spot for some other parts. And these are generally the bigger parts that are kind of bulky and they don't really fit in these little drawers very well. So I've had to find alternate places to put them. I'm limited on space, so there's only so much I can do, and I know at some point I'm going to have to go through some of those that I have hundreds of that are never going to sell, and I need to figure out what to do with those. Okay, in one of my recent videos, I had mentioned that I was getting quite a few viewers from around the world, and I asked people to put in the comments what country they were from. And I want to thank everybody who took the time to do that because it's pretty widespread where these people are. And I just want to read some of them that did comment. Some of the viewers are from Cape Town, South Africa, Norway, Vienna, Austria, and the other one was Austria, the west part. I haven't looked at a map. For those of you that are in that area, maybe you know what he's talking about. Netherlands, Greece, Ontario, Canada, Ireland, and somebody from the US said I'm in Maryland. Thank you very much for commenting. Just find it very interesting that my videos have gone worldwide because I'm not a traveler, so I tend to just think of US and not worldwide. And so I really appreciate everybody who has commented from different countries to kind of open my eyes to, yeah, Bricklink really is worldwide. And it's very exciting to know that Lego is touching every corner of the world. It just, for some reason, that just warms my heart because it really does bring people together from all kinds of backgrounds. So it's very exciting to me. So I just want to thank everybody who took the time to comment. If your country wasn't listed, go ahead and put that in the comments, because I am thinking about getting a map and putting little pins for when people comment from different countries, just because I think it would be fun and interesting and help with my geography quite a bit too. Because do not ask me where anything is. I can barely tell you what all the states are, let alone where the countries are out there. But that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.